Sometimes we get sent products, and sometimes they come in really, really big boxes. Let's do this.
Are you a champion in the making?
Yeah, I mean, my mum always calls me a little champ, so...
Then you need the new Corsair Champion Series K70 10 keyless keyboard to heighten your gameplay and really kick the competition's arse.
So I'll be an even better gamer if I get one?
Yes, thanks to the 8000 Hz hyperpolling, a durable aluminium frame and a tournament mode switch that disables the macros and lighting for those intense gaming sessions. You'll be tearing up the battlefield in no time.
Wow, I can't wait to show everyone my sick moves. Yeah!
No, stop that now, and click the link in the description below. Seriously, stop dancing.
Okay, so if anyone's seen any of our previews for Z690, you realise that we have a 2-camera setup. So we've got this one here and we've got this one over here. For now, I'm going to predominantly look at this camera because, I mean, this is just ridiculous. This is a very, very large box, and I want to get straight into it. Now, as you may or may not know, today is the day for Z690. We can basically, to a certain degree, lift the lid on kind of previews, unboxings, all that kind of stuff. We can't show you any performance figures, anything like that. That's not what today is really about. It's more about sort of showing you actually, you know, what we've got motherboard wise, what we got processor wise. And then on the 4th of November, that's when we're going to be able to kind of, you know, give you all the performance, the results, the benchmarks, that kind of stuff. So I should have really thought about this before I actually started unboxing it, because it's probably the most annoying noise ever, trying to actually sort of do this. But I want to get this open because anyone who remembers Z590, MSI tried to do something, you know, quite fancy, quite special. They tried to do these kind of media kits and things like that, where they, I guess, try to outshine the competition. You know, it doesn't kind of, you know, influence us in any way with what we kind of, you know, are able to do and what we try to do and things like that. And Asus actually sent us a bit of a media kit as well, but probably not on the same kind of scale as this, purely because this has got a lot more to it than what Asus sent. Asus kind of didn't even have the memory to send over. So this is the box. Let's get it open and sort of see what we've got going on. So Intel, MSI, Kingston Fury. Intel, Kingston and MSI are ready to delight you with perfect media kit. Always love the kind of, you know, weird Chinese English translations and stuff. Grand present the best performance combination with 12th gen Intel. I'm not even going to tell you because it would be easier to show you, but you know, you get this nice little sort of leaflet, shall we say. Now, let's get this unboxed. I hate big boxes, I really do. But this looks pretty special. So I will try and... it's a flight case. I think it's a flight case. How am I meant to get this out? Okay, I'm gonna attempt to get it out without making too much noise, but this is what it looks like. And I mean, colour me impressed. The one that we got for Z590 was probably like more like cardboard and stuff, and you know, a bit flimsy. This, colour me impressed, and I'm gonna try and sort of turn it over and see if I can get it out without actually breaking it or hurting myself. So we should be able to take this off, put this somewhere out the way, and get on with kind of the show. So a little bit more foam there. This is kind of what we're left with. Let's turn it out the right way. Where am I going to store this? This is kind of the key thing. So, okay, let me keep it that way. The world record breaker. So obviously they're talking about the MEG series in general. The MEG series, for anyone who doesn't know, MSI kind of have MAG, MPG, MEG. So this is more kind of, you know, your enthusiast, sort of extreme end of the scale. And it weighs an absolute ton. So, what we got? Powered by MSI. Not returnable if seal is broken. I don't know if MSI are doing these kind of things to kind of, you know, act a bit like a joke, but MSI not returnable if seal is broken. I mean, I didn't pay for it. Why would I return it? Let's take this off anyway. And I bet you it's going to leave that horrible kind of void. Why would you do that? Now it's ruined. Whatever. Right, let's open this up. I'm impressed with this. I mean, I'm going to use this to store something in. I don't know what yet, but I don't even know how well you're going to be able to see this on the camera, but I'm going to try and unbox it kind of bit by bit. Now, can I even... That's kind of what it looks like, right. So whenever MSI send out motherboards, they always send out one of these kind of, dear editor notes. We proudly present to you our new MSI MEG Z690 Unify motherboard. We know you're very busy. To make your life a little easier, here are a few links. So the link to the latest beta BIOS, performance testing guide, info kit, web page, kind of the key features. So anyone who doesn't know, for the Unify board, we're talking 19 plus 2 phases with 105 amps SPS power design, DDR5 memory, which obviously comes with Z690. There are some boards out there that are DDR4, but this is DDR5. 5 M.2 connectors with double-sided M.2 shield frozer Lightning Gen 4 support. I was kind of expecting Gen 5, but we're getting to that. I'm sure one of them is going to be. Front and rear Lightning USB 20G, so you've got USB 3.2 Gen 2x2. So you've basically got lightning fast speeds when it comes to that as well. Outstanding cooling solution, dual 2.5G LAN with Wi-Fi 6E. It's got kind of, everything that you'd want from a Z690 board. So play with power. Okay, so this just goes through the MPG series, MEG series, the Pro series, and the MEG. It's basically a bit of marketing bump, if I want to be honest with you. So that's that, right. So they've sent us over some memory. This is the Kingston Fury. So this is DDR5. It is, I hate trying to read barcodes and stuff because it doesn't really give you much information, but it operates at 1.25 volts. I'm guessing it says KF55. No, KF552, so I'm guessing 5200 potentially. 32 on there, so I'm guessing this is a 32 gig kit. It's probably two 16 gig modules, making up 32 gig of, DDR5. I'm gonna guess 5200. If I was any more prepared, then obviously I'd have all that information, but yeah, there's that. They've also sent us the Intel Core i9 12900K. So, I quite like this box actually. It's got like a smooth kind of velvety-ness to it. Opening it up, what's that? Oh, I like goodies. I always like it when we get like unexpected things. Like, I knew what products we were getting, but unexpected things. So this is MSI Intel Kingston Fury Acertech Grand present the best performance combination as media kit. It's just like a nice looking kind of business card. I think it's metal, but yeah, it's always nice kind of getting little added extras. But inside underneath here, bearing in mind, we've actually got an Intel Core i9 12900K, so having another one's always nice. But here we have, and this is probably the first glimpse you're going to get, unless you've actually seen our video where we have looked at the i9 12900K as well as the i5 12600K, but this is the 12900K. I'm trying to get it in focus and stuff. So this is the creme de la creme. This is Intel's flagship for 12th gen processors, and obviously on the 4th of November we will have tons, and I mean tons of benchmarks on, not just on MSI boards, but on other brands as well. We have to be fair here and stuff. So here we have the MSI Z690 Unify, and I'm going to get to that in a little bit because I'm pretty sure there's something else under here because this box is huge, right? So, and I'm right. So they've actually sent us this as well, which is the MSI MEG Core Liquid S360. I'm pretty sure we did a build with this, a live build. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did a live build with this on the Silent case, which is down there. So for anyone who hasn't actually seen that and is interested in this cooler, which is the latest one with the Silent fans on there, we have actually already done a video on it. And yeah, it's just off camera over there. So we're not going to be using this for our testing because for our testing, we always end up using the same cooler that we've used for all of our previous testing, which is a Noctua D15S. But I wanted to give that kind of an honourable mention. If you do want to see any content on that, we did a live video a couple of weeks ago, so there is that. They've also sent us another little box, which I'm guessing is probably a mounting kit, maybe? No? What the hell is this? They've sent us something. It's like two little covers for something. It says liquid cooling accessories. If anyone knows what these are, please let me know. Because they're just kind of pieces of, it's not even metal, it's like injection molded ABS or something. But I don't think there's much else in this. There's nothing else in this box. I know what it is. So basically on the cooler, you have got these two little bits down here, one up here and one up here. These are just replacement. I'm not quite sure why. Maybe they're an ever so slightly different color. These are more like black. I think it's more like a gunmetal on there. So yeah, quite like the presentation box though. So kudos to MSI for sending that over. But let's get this all out of the way, and then we can talk about the reason that you're probably here, which is the MEG Z690 Unify motherboard. And I want to sort of do a preview of that. And like I mentioned, we have got previews of so many. Quite like this, it's quite sensual. We have got so many other previews on different boards, not just from MSI, but from Gigabyte, from Asus and all that as well. So let's talk about this. Z690 Unify. For anyone who doesn't know, the Unify is basically high end, but it doesn't have kind of, you know, RGB and things like that. It's kind of, I guess you could argue, your no frills approach. So this is what you get. And on the front of the box, you'll see no RGB. It gives us our first glimpse of the board. The fact that it is Z690 and supports Intel 12th Gen. There's not really too much else going on here. On other boards that we've seen, boxes that we've seen, it has sort of said, you know, DDR5, PCIe Gen 5. There's none of that on the front of this. Looking at the back, we've obviously got that 19+2 power design that I did speak about. We've got quintuple M.2 connectors. And I've got to admit, I'm ever so slightly disappointed based on some of the other boards that I've already looked at in previews. And like I said, go check out the channel. We've got tons of video. I think there's like 10 videos going up today. But we've got PCIe Gen 4, 4, 4, 3, and 4. There's no PCI Express 5.0. I don't know whether the hardware's there and they're waiting, but there's nothing announced here. I haven't looked at any other MSI boards yet. We have got another one, which we are going to film after this. But yeah, just a bit, I don't know, confused by that one. Obviously, we do have DDR5, so we are going to get the blistering fast speeds from that. Lightning transfer speeds. We get our first glimpse of the board, all the main specs and what the rear I/O looks like. So let's unbox it and see what it's all about. They're really trying to kind of put this message across that it is the world record breaker, so there is that. Let's take the board out and talk about the accessories first, so you can see exactly what you get if you're going to be buying a board like this. So put that to one side. So we have our SATA cables, which we have two there, one of them being a right-angled one, both with clips on there as well to keep it locked into place. We have what looks like potentially a proprietary RGB extender cable. Not too sure on that one, but we will find out for our main review as well. We have got a extension cable here, so that actually looks like it goes in conjunction with this for addressable RGB, which goes from kind of your standard addressable RGB connector into a proprietary. We've got some more SATA cables, again, one of them being right-angled. We have a standard RGB Y splitter cable, so you plug one into the motherboard, comes out into two. Been kind of seeing this as a little bit of a theme with these Z690 boards that are trying to give you kind of more functionality through Y splitter cables and things like that. This looks like some kind of proprietary front panel connector cable, I'm guessing, just to kind of give you that little bit of extra room as well, which again is quite a common theme. They've given you a cloth. Now, the only reason I can think that they've given us a cloth is the fact that there's going to be some kind of mirrored elements to it. So it'd be interesting to see when we look at the board. Case badge sticker. Stickers for putting on your battery and other parts of your motherboard, or just sticking them on your case, whatever you want to do. Some more stickers as well for actually labeling stuff. So your SATA cables, where they actually go, what they're for, that kind of thing. Join the MSI reward program now. Thank you for choosing MSI. Quick installation guide. Share your MSI product experience and you can win prizes. We get basically a little brochure telling you that MSI do make other products like GPUs and monitors and peripherals. And we get our quick start, our user guide as well. No driver CD that I can see, but potentially maybe now they're actually looking at getting rid of them. And yes, they're actually giving you a USB instead, which I'm kind of a big fan of. USB, no one uses CDs or DVDs anymore. I mean, even with this, you could argue it's a little bit redundant because the easiest thing and the best way of doing it, of getting the latest drivers and things like that, is heading over to their website, either MSI or Intel's. You also get what looks like your Wi-Fi antennas as well, because obviously this board has got Wi-Fi 6E. So this is the thing with Z690. Some of them have got Wi-Fi 6, some of them have got Wi-Fi 6E. So this has got 6E, as well as Bluetooth as well. We also get M.2 locker. So there's basically a standoff for your M.2, another one, another one, another one. So there's 4 in total there. You get these little screwdrivers as well, of which one is a flathead, one is a Phillips. So this is probably to take off the M.2 Frozer heatsink so that it then reveals your M.2 drives so that you can use these. And I've seen this before with a couple of their boards lately. They keep giving you like these little brushes for kind of cleaning off your keyboard and stuff like that. So, you know, you get some unique accessories here with the USB and with the screwdrivers. Other than that, I mean, cable-wise, kind of what you'd expect from MSI based on sort of what we've seen in the past from them and what they've actually bundled in, not just with the Unify, but with other boards as well. So let's put that to one side and have a look at the board itself. Now, I'm a big fan of the Unify. Like, I like my RGB, I like my colors and my rainbows and that kind of stuff. But sometimes, depending on the build that you're trying to do, you just want something maybe a little bit simpler. And this is what you get. I mean, it looks stealthy as hell. It looks like it means business. It looks like it is aimed at enthusiasts, and that's exactly who it is aimed at. It's got some weight to it, probably not as heavy as some of the other boards that we've seen, but they generally have been more expensive, like the Extreme board from Asus as well as Gigabyte as well. So let's take off the plastic stuff as well so we can get a better view. So some people are fans of RGB, some people don't really like it. I mean, this has got probably the stealthiest design that we've seen out of all of the Z690 boards. And like I say, I really do invite you to go and look at them because there is kind of something for everyone. But this has kind of got the whole like black, there's a little bit of grey up here, kind of gunmetal looking colours and things like that. We do get our first kind of glimpse of what the CPU socket looks like. For anyone who hasn't seen it, this is LGA 1700. So it is going to accept the latest Intel 12th gen processors. We're talking, like we've got already, the 12600K. We have got a 12700K, and more importantly, the 12900K, which not only have MSI sent, but we have got one from Intel as well. So it's going to be interesting to kind of see what we can do with that. Obviously with Z690, we do get DDR5. So you have got 4 DDR5 slots here. I personally would have maybe liked to have seen some armor shielding on here just to kind of give it, you know, a bit more of a kind of more premium vibe like we have on the X16 slot here and also down here. On the back, to obviously assist in kind of durability as well as, you know, to give some thermal properties, we have got this heatsink which doesn't cover the whole board, but it does cover kind of the majority of, I guess, where the majority of the heat is going to come from, VRMs and things like that. So talking about the VRMs, you can see all of the phases, all of the capacitors that go around the top, and this kind of modest heatsink design that comes down and across, and it does look like it's actually connected via a single heat pipe down here. So it's pretty open, but kind of, you know, everything is where you'd expect it to be. So moving along to the top of the board, you can see for our power delivery, we have got 2 8-pin connectors. Again, I would have liked to have seen maybe a little bit of shielding on here, but maybe I'm just being a little bit overcritical with it. We have got plenty of fan headers up here, so CPU fan, pump fan, system fans. We've got a little debug LED, a few more fan headers. We've got our addressable RGB and then that proprietary RGB connector over here. We've also got some tiny little LEDs on here and also voltage readout points if you do want to kind of, you know, hook up a multimeter and see what's going on there. 24 pin, we've got our USB Type-C connector here and also 2 USB sort of front panel headers as well. So they're 3.2 Gen 1 if I remember rightly. For anyone not using M.2, we have actually got 6 SATA ports on here. I am finding kind of a bit of a growing trend now with all the Z690 boards that I have looked at. There are less SATA ports than we've seen previously, and I think that is because of the way that the market's heading with M.2, the fact that SATA is kind of slowly phasing out in sort of favour of M.2. I'm not saying that SATA is going anywhere anytime soon. When it comes to large capacity drives like hard drives and things like that, it still very much has a place, but normally in the past we might have seen 8 SATA ports. Now we're seeing 6. On some boards we're only actually seeing 4 as well. For the hardcore overclockers out there, we have got a power button and a reset button and also a BIOS switch to switch it between the first BIOS and the second BIOS. We've got all of our front panel connectors. We've also got USB 2.0 down here as well. We've also got plenty more fan headers. So there are quite a few. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 fan headers in total. Also a water flow header as well. We've got our HD audio as well. Now, when it comes to the PCI Express, so we have an X16 slot up here. We have another X16 slot down here. This one is physically an X16 slot, but it's actually X8 in terms of where the pins are. And then we've got our X4 slot down here as well. So not too much going on there. it doesn't actually mention, and I don't think it mentioned anywhere on here. So, okay, the X16 slots are both PCI Express 5.0, and then the X4 slot is PCI Express 3.0. So, not that there's any graphics cards or any devices yet, but it's the whole kind of chicken and the egg thing of the slots need to be there to pave way. And we was having this conversation yesterday when we was at an Intel event all around sort of Alder Lake. The fact that wouldn't it be a funny thing if Intel were the first ones to market with their new Arc GPUs, the Alchemist Arc stuff, if they were the first ones to market with that and it was PCI Express Gen 5. I mean, from a marketing standpoint, it made sense. But more than likely, it's probably going to be Nvidia because they are market leaders when it comes to GPUs. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens. So with our M.2 slots, obviously we have got one up here. I can see there's thermal pads on sort of both sides, on the bottom and on the top. Then obviously we've got another one here, another one here, and one here. I am a little bit disappointed that it's not PCI Express Gen 5 for the M.2. I don't know whether the physical hardware is there. We have seen it on, I want to say lesser boards than this, but maybe kind of MSI are doing that in such a way that it paves way for other boards like the Godlike and things like that to have PCI Express Gen 5 for your NVMe devices. I don't know. I need to look into it a little bit more, but I just wanted to sort of do an unboxing and a preview based on me not knowing anything about this board and what it's all about, and sort of giving you my first kind of impressions and glimpse and stuff at it. In terms of the heatsink, it does wrap round and sort of flows into the rear I/O, and then on there we can get our view of kind of what's going on connector-wise. And there's some interesting stuff going on compared to what I've seen with other boards. So we do have our clear CMOS and our BIOS flashback. We've got some USBs here, some Type-C super speed, more USBs, Wi-Fi 6E. We've got our gold-plated audio connectors and our SPDIF, and that all-important dual 2.5G Ethernet. Now, the thing that's really interesting, and they're probably trying to, I guess, you know, appeal to the overclockers and the enthusiasts out there, does have a PS2 mouse keyboard combo port, which I kind of thought like we were done with, but I guess MSI still feel that there's a need on a board like this. And like I say, I'm really interested to see kind of what MSI have done with other boards that they are bringing out for Z690, and we have actually got a carbon Wi-Fi sitting down just over there, so it's going to be interesting to sort of see what features that has in comparison to this, because that's part of the I believe the MPG range, whereas this is the MEG range. But yeah, I just wanted to give you kind of a glimpse of kind of what MSI are doing with the Unify, what this big old box was all about as well, because like I say, MSI always kind of try and, I guess, better themselves for what they did last time. And last time, yeah, it was a cardboard box. It was nice. We kind of got everything. And but this just takes it one step further, and we always end up putting it, you can't actually see it out of frame, up on the shelf. And it's always nice to kind of have, you know, in the backdrop and stuff like that. But yeah, like I mentioned, we have got a lot of other video previews that have come out today on the 27th of October. All of the performance stuff for this board and all the other boards that we have shown in our other videos are all going to be available performance-wise and showing you all the review kind of results and stuff like that on the 4th of November. So definitely make sure you stick back and tune in for that as well. And we have also got loads of written content as well. So if you do want to check that out, head on over to eTeknix.com. We have actually got a written preview on this as well. Just kind of, you know, going through it if that's more your bag as well. Either way, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, you know exactly what to do, and I will see you in the next one. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.